Hello, hi everyone. So we are in the end of the marathon of strategic management analysis and planning. This is the last video, and please watch it properly till the end. Make sure that you subscribe this channel, like it, and save this playlist so that it will be easy for you before exam. Now, myself is CMA Vikita. I am a cost and a management accountant by profession, and here I have come forward to bring out the best revision videos for the strategic management with the real life examples. And if you would have seen my before videos, you will understand that I have brought down all the important brands which we are day to day life we are going with it. Okay, and make sure that you are watching the videos with a proper speed, because very important is to not go with a high speed because it will never be stored properly. Pause whenever required, refresh yourself, write down, jot down those points, because writing while you are listening to us is very necessary. It will train our subconscious mind. Fine, very nice. So now we are continuing and we are in the contingency planning. What is contingency planning speak about? Contingency planning is speaking about if there is any situation, any situation or any scenario which arises all of sudden, and we have a reaction like, what if we have this, what if it has happened like this, what if it has happened, oh my god, is our proper confusion or a situation where we are and where it is giving us a lot of stress. Okay, contingency planning is an alternative to the strategic planning. First very important point you write down is contingency planning is a plan which is alternative to strategic planning. First thing is we have a plan A, we have plan B. When these two plans flop and suddenly you are in a situation, this is a situation where you have not planned, either A or plan B is not coming into that situation, and that is, what if this scenario arises, what if, for example, it has come suddenly, this particular scenario, unfavorable situation has arisen, and you are not used to it, you are not trained to it, you have never thought about this scenario would be arised. Then what? At that particular time there comes the contingency planning. Got it? Understood everyone? So what does it say? It has, please make a note, contingency planning is an alternative to the strategic planning. Okay, so what does it say? It is a plan for what if scenarios. What if this particular scenario arises? What if ये होता तो क्या होता, अगर ये हो जाता तो क्या हो सकता है? These are the questions which you arise. What if scenarios that could ruin your project or business. Okay. Now, for example, what has happened is the laptop which I am recording or storing my data or doing my notes, okay, suddenly it gets erased. And now how do you get back your data? You obviously will think that what is a contingency plan? Contingency planning here brings that if this is the scenario that your website is being hacked or your laptop is being hacked or your laptop is not working, you're not able to go and check your drive or you're not able to open your notes which you have done for the students, then how do you do it? You obviously need to think in a very different way. What is the different way? You have to think in the scenario where if you like where you find that you are in that difficult situation, and if you are standing in a difficult situation, what can be the thought process of yours, what can be a plan of action of yours at that particular situation, at the current present position you have to think. Okay, so what you do is you have to check whether your data has been synced with your mail id. Then if it is synced, then you can restore it from the date from your email id by changing or accessing your email id or the passwords. Got it? In this way, this what if scenario can be reduced and you can use a contingency planning. Fine, all done. very, very nice, happy. Now I'll give you a very superb example. It's a comedy example. Now what had happened is our school, okay, when we were studying, it was long time, like 10 12 years back, I guess. And story I'm saying, when we were studying, they our school in class 8 they had taken to an excursion to Vishakhapatnam, Vizag. Vishakhapatnam short form is Vizag. Okay. Now here what happened is, we people had gone is 40 students. 40 students. These are my classmates. So as you know, when we were in class 8 and when we are going to an excursion or a study tour, then obviously there is a proper way of checking that whether the students are happy or not, whether they are comfortable or not, whether they are all are together or not, all the 40 students are there or not, and so. Now what happened was, this was a trip of 3 nights and 4 days. This was a trip, and that was a very beautiful and a very memorable trip. What happened in this trip was, they had given us a proper plan that on day 1 we go here, day 2 we'll go to a park, day 3 we'll go to a beach, day 4 we are going to shopping center. Now when this particular day 4 came, we went to a shopping center. This was a shopping center. They had made a bus for us. And in that bus we all enjoyed, and we all had to go together from that bus, get down from the bus, and wherever we have to go, we have to go in a line. Now once suddenly what happened, we had to go to the shopping center, and it was some half kilometer we need to walk. Okay, we are going in a line, and we saw, like, we have already reached the shopping center, and our principal, or I mean the teacher, took a head count, like 40 students are there or not, 1 2 3 4, Vikita, Saurav, then Akansha, then it is like Ashika, then you have Pooja, Divyashri, you have n number of people. They made a count. They saw that out of 40 students there were only 39. What about the last one person, one student, one of our friend is not there? Then some of our teachers as well as some of our friends went back the way which we came to the shopping center, and they saw on the road there was a manhole. This was a manhole, and this guy did not see the manhole, and he was walking. He forgot that there was a manhole. He went inside. So did he ever think that there will be a manhole? First thing, did he ever plan that there will be a manhole on the road? If he would have planned, then he would have never fallen down, right? So the situation here is, what if what if scenario. Are you understanding? What if scenario has been arised here. Now this is a contingency situation. Contingency situation means you have to check in the present situation, what can be a plan of action to be done to make him remove off, how can he come out from the manhole, and then he can be properly into our same line. You understanding contingency situation, contingency plan? Did you properly understand? Okay, so that was about contingency planning. I just gave you a real life example, which was like, I felt that that's a very nice example to be given. Now let's read from our book. Okay. So a basic premise of good strategic management in that firm plans way to deal with favorable and unfavorable situation. It says that strategic management of a firm, and that firm should obviously make sure if they are concentrating on the favorable situation, on the as well as the unfavorable, which are not actually thought for, but yes, they should be recorded it. So too many organizations prepare the contingency plans just for unfavorable events. This is a big mistake which they are doing, that they are only focusing on unfavorable events, because both minimizing threats and capitalizing opportunities can improve the competitive position. So it's very much important that only you should not take the unfavorable situation, you should make sure that there are both the options there. So it is saying that if there is unfavorable situation, then they are minimizing the threats and capitalizing the opportunities. Okay, so regardless of how carefully strategies are formulated, implemented, evaluated, unforeseen events such as I said you, such as strikes, boycotts, natural disasters, foreign competitors, and government actions can make a strategy obsolete. Means lost, or removed, it is being old. To minimize the impact of potential threats, the organization should develop the contingency plans. Everyone, contingency plans. Here you're seeing contingency plans as a part of strategic manage evaluation process. Contingency plans can be defined as what? As an alternative plan that can be put into effect certain key events and do not occur as expected. When it is not that whenever you want it should be, but yes, there should be a little bit process of thinking that when there can be an alternative plans. Okay, only on high priority areas require the insurance of the contingency plans. Strategic strategies cannot and should not try to cover all the bases by planning of all the possible contingencies, but in case of contingency plans, it should be simple as well as very much. Okay, so I'll give you one example. Now, what has happened is, now we are developing a chair or furniture manufacturing unit, and we are the companies for the chair and manufacturing unit. Now tell me some scenarios where this chair or the furniture manufacturing unit can be closed, or tell me a scenarios where it has unfavorable situations. Tell me. First situation can be that if there is a strike. Second, it can be boycott. It can be any natural calamities or any natural disasters which has happened. Then the manufacturing unit of the furniture will be closed, right? And then if there is more competitors like that, then it can also be a unfavorable situation. Then comes the government actions, the government putting policies, government putting rules, telling environmental pollutions are being done, there is some or the other causes of it, and so in this particular situations, I'm saying that there are unfavorable situations which arise, and for these there should be uh, a contingency planning done. What should be the contingency planning? if if these are the situations, then the furniture manufacturing unit, to make sure that they do not shut down, but they try to use those raw material into producing something else very useful and very nice, and it will be very profitable and sales will be good. So that is how the contingency planning should be done for that situations. Understand, everyone? I'm giving a lot of stress because I feel it's very important for this term of exam. Now there are some there are some contingency plans which has been established, and there are some firms which can take some examples, and this particular question has come in December 2019. So first one is, how do you know that, what are the examples of contingency plans? First is, if the competitors withdraw from the market, then there is contingency plan which should be established. Next, if our sales objective is not being achieved properly. Next, if there is a new product demand has been exceeded. Next, if there is any natural calamity or any disaster which has happened. Next comes is the last one is the if there are more technological advancements, at that particular time there should be contingency plans which will be arised. Okay. Fine. I hope you all have understood what is the contingency plans. What can be the steps of contingency planning? First thing is, there is Robert Lineman and Rajan Chandran have suggested this 7-step process of the contingency plan. So this can be an MCQ. I feel this can be a true or false, or an MCQ or a 1-mark question about Robert Lineman and Rajan Chandran. Remember this point, highlight it. Some people actually forget it, and there they are like, where is this? It is not there. It is out of syllabus, they say. But everything comes within syllabus. Okay. So what are the steps? Here, let's go understand these all things. Yes. Steps. First one, identify beneficial unfavorable events. Okay, we have to identify the beneficial and unfavorable event, means favorable and unfavorable events that could possibly derail the strategies, obstruct the strategies. Okay, then specify the trigger points and then calculate whether these points are proper or not, events are done properly or not. Assess the impact of each contingent event. Assess the impact. Develop contingency plans. Assess counter impact on each contingency plan. Then determine the early warning signals. Then for contingency event with reliable early warnings, develop advanced action to take the advantage of available lead time. So what are the points? Easy points, not to worry. I have jotted down those points in flash notes. Write it now with me. Come on, everyone. Yes. So these are the points. First one, what is it? Steps. I mean, the first step is identify favorable, unfavorable situation which obstruct the strategy. Second, specify the trigger points. Recall with me, rewind with me, speak with me. Come on, wherever you are, even if you're traveling in a bus, even if you are sitting in some corner of the office and wanting to watch it, please repeat with me. If you're working also, you want to take a break, repeat. Okay. Specify the trigger points and calculate the trigger points. I mean, the contingency events occur. Find out the actual impact, whether it is like harm, potential, is it average, is it low, and so develop the contingency plans, and which must be perfectly useful for the current situation. Estimate also to find out the counter and reverse impact and capitalize or cancel out if it is required. Then early warning signals must be monitored. Develop the action plans for the contingency events with the reliable early warning signals. So these were the steps. Now coming, what are the benefits of contingency? What are the benefits of contingency? What are the benefits of contingency planning? Okay, so now it will help in the future through proactive planning. Proactive planning means what? You have to be very much thinking on how it is done and what. Okay, and advanced preparation. It will lead to new action by removing and reducing present difficulties. Remember this point, present difficulties. It enables to anticipate future problems. It helps in it helps you prevent panic in crisis situations. Like when I said you one of my friend fell in the manhole, it is what, it is a crisis situation, you get panic actually. But if you have a contingency plan, then you don't have to panic. It helps you create more steps to unforeseen changes. Okay, next, it helps in internal and external changes. It gives you new idea, impact. So I think in this you read 4 points more than enough. Fine, everyone. Very nice. Now, this one we have done, already completed. Pestle analysis we have completed. Now going down, this one also we have completed. With the first video which we saw is pest analysis. If anyone who is thinking that ma'am has not completed this, ma'am has completed is with the pest analysis which we have done in the starting of the chapter. Okay. Now going down, we have is the 5 forces, Porter's 5 forces model. First thing, let's understand what is this 5 forces. What are the 5 forces? First thing is, Mr. Porter is a person who thought that there are different 5 competitive forces or the sources in the industry or the sector, which is actually make, if you understand those 5 forces, it will make your way of understanding the marketing language and the strategic management in a better and a good way. So the first force which we have is this one, competitive rivalry, which purely speaks about the competition of the rivalry. Next comes threat of the new entrants. If there is any new entrants and if there is a barrier, and here this is a new entrant and it has to go to the old market, then how? Next is the supplier power. Next is the customer power. And then comes the substitutes threat. So these are the 5 forces, 5 forces model. 5 forces model. So what are the characteristics should be there in the 5 forces model is something which we are going to read. Okay, so let's understand. First one is the competitive rivalry. In this, you need to understand that how many number of competitors are there, how many number of competitors are there, then what is the quality differences which are there, what are the other type of differences which can be there, and what can be the switching cost of the customers. Okay, switching cost of the customers. Then what is the customer loyalty, then comes the cost of leaving the market. Switching cost speaks about when the customer is giving a lot of time and value and money on the particular product and doing a lot of research from this, changing from this product to this product, then it takes a lot of efforts for it. So it is a switching cost. Okay, customer loyalty means the brand which has been preferred from ages and ages. Like for example, I'm using Colgate since last 20 years and suddenly I want to use Patanjali. I cannot, because I already have enjoyed the product, I have enjoyed the loyalty of it, I really like the product. And if anyone suggests me that you use Patanjali paste, it is so good, I take a lot of time. I feel that no, I am doing something wrong with myself. I do a lot of research and then slowly, if I want it, I can change it, right? Next comes is bargaining power. What is bargaining power? Bargaining power says about the number of customers, size of each order, then difference between the competitors, price sensitivity, ability to substitute, cost of changing. This is about the power of the buyers. Okay, then we have this threat of substitute, where it says about if there is any substitutes are there, then what is the performance of that particular substitute. Like for example, we have got this pen and we have also got this pen. Now what is the difference between this pen and this pen? There should be something which can be like, it can be price, it can be size, it can be like the shape of it can be. Okay, so the substitute performance should be measured. Next comes is the supply power, where it says the number of suppliers are there, what is the size of suppliers, what is the uniqueness of the service, what is the ability to substitute, and what is the cost of changing. Fine. Then coming to the threats of the new entrants, which says about there is new product coming into the market. Okay, the time and cost of entry, specialized knowledge is required, economies of scale, cost advantage, technological protection, and barriers of entry. These are what? These are the characteristics of the five forces analysis. Okay. Now, for example, if you get an case study, then you have to think on these basis and write your answer. That is what. Okay. Now, in competitive rivalry, okay, what is it saying about? I'm just going not depth, but yeah, I'm just explaining you competitive rivalry. This force examines how intense the competition is in the marketplace. It considers the number of existing competitors and what each one can do. The rivalry is high, and where there must be few business selling into the products and so. Okay, the rivalry is high, and advertising and price war ensure that the business it hurts a it that which can hurt a business bottom line. What are the different barriers? First thing, economies of scales, brand loyalty, absolute cost advantage, customer switching cost, and government regulation. You see, this is what the points which we read. Remember, that is what. Next, bargaining power of supply is the same thing. It has potential to raise the prices. It has access of number of suppliers of the raw material available. Businesses are better positioned when they are in the multiple suppliers. Then coming to the bargaining power, the power examines the power of the customer, effect on pricing and quality. Then is customer switching cost, and the buying power is low. The consumers purchase products in a smaller amounts and sell the products very different from the that of the competitors. In the same way, new threats easy and difficult for its competitors to join. It has to gain entry, greater risk is involved. Okay, threats of substitutes, consumers switch from business to business products and services of that of competitors. The number of competitors and their prices compared are done. There is switching cost, both immediate and long term, as well as the consumer inclination to change. So those were about the five forces. It is not difficult, but if you read it once, you will purely understand. So let's understand one very nice thing about one example of Apple company. Apple's five forces. Okay. So if you see, what are the threats and main potential threats of Apple? Potential threats of Apple. Concentration of power in the middle and proximity to the customer is its potential threat. Okay. Then what is the it says about five forces in the government: marketing and advertisement regulation, electronic device, and the consumer rules is the power of that particular Apple company. Apple is strictly focused on design and marketing. What is the strength of it? It is this one. Okay. Then substitutes. Apple is better equipped to compete with the horizontal players like HP, Sony, and not vertical integrated towards the consumers. It is not pure vertically integrated towards the consumers, but it is horizontal player. It is having a better competition than the HP and Sony. Okay, here it is saying the power, buying power vertically oriented towards the customer side. Apple does most of its business with its retail retail locations and online location, but I feel retail locations only Apple does it. Suppliers power. Apple has more power and over its suppliers able to make strong demands. It can actually resist the demand. It has a lot of things. So this was about an example of Apple. Then comes, we'll understand about a small bit understanding about Tesla company. Tesla company, people know, everyone? Tesla Motors, right? So Tesla Motors, five forces. I have thought of getting it for you. So if you see here, a threat of new entrants, there is suppliers, there is substitutes, there is buyers, and there is competitive rivalry. Okay. So let's understand the rivalry determinants means competitive rivalry. Here what happens? There is industry growth is there. Fixed cost and value added services are there. There is product differentiations. There is switching cost. There is corporate stakeholders. There is exist barriers. Okay, there is concentration and balance. Okay, these are what rivalry determinants means. These are the characteristics which a Tesla company has. Fine. Now coming to the barriers to new entry, economies of scale, brand identity. Tesla's brand identity is so beautiful, right? Government policies which has been adopted on it, switching cost, then you have capital requirements, suppliers power. Okay, we are coming to this portion, suppliers power, where it says that differentiation of inputs, presence of substitute inputs are also available. In case there is any problem, they can use it. Importance of volume to supplier is also there. Then coming threat of forward integration, on relative to threat to backward integration by firms in the industry. I think you understand about integration. We have read it. Then coming to the substitute market, where it says relative price performance of the substitutes. See, substitutes has nothing much. Switching cost, buyer propensity to substitute, buyer has interest in substituting. Why? The substitute product is of lesser cost, it is giving good quality, it has a more core competence. Okay, competitive advantage is more in this product, the substitute product, than the old existing product. Okay. Now, buyer power, buyer's concentration versus the firm's concentration, buyer volume, buyer switching cost, then substitute products, then you have price intense sensitivity in these particular areas. So this was just to make you aware that these are case based examples which actually work, and it is being used in different companies. Now coming to the last portion, everyone, come on, take a deep breath, relax, give a big smile, and we are going to complete it within just 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. Now, what does this speak? Structural drivers of change. Structural drivers of change. What does it say? It says about the different forces which are likely to affect the structure of an industry, which affects the structure of an industry, market, or the sector. What are those factors? The first factor is the increasing convergence of markets. Increasing convergence of markets means if some markets the customers needs and preferences are becoming more similar, in as markets are globalized, those operating in such markets become global and customers may search for suppliers. Moreover, marketing policies need to be developed all over again. So it is saying that, so the first point is increasing convergence of markets, where it is saying that the customer needs and preferences are becoming similar. Hence, it is easy for making it. So this is one of the structural driver change. Second, cost advantage of global operations. The advantage, I mean, this benefit might accrue to the industries that operate a large volume, standardized production, and enjoy the economies of scale. In order to realize the economies, business search globally for low cost operations. So the cost advantage, cost effective and efficient nature is a competitive edge. So this is also a very important structural driver. Next, activities and the policies of the government. Whatever the activities or the policies of the government are for the betterment of the economy and for the globalization of the industry, right? So this makes you move around the technical and the more of research and development and increasing lot of competition. Hence it is said that activities, and so the flash note is it influences, it influences the global world. And you can also write that it helps in technical advancements also, okay, in increasing competition. The last one is global competition. Global competition is one of the best driver or the one of the best force to globalization, where it says about import foreign exchange, foreign exchange which has been done, and where you have different countries and where is intra trade going on between the countries, there is international trade fairs going on, there is more of promotion of global trade, and which helps you grow the economy in a better way. So what are the forces? First is competency, competence, okay. Second is global competition. Third comes activities and policies by the government, by the government, yes. Then come the global cost effective. So everyone, we have very thoroughly completed the chapter, we have completed the chapter beautifully. Chapter is done and dusted, everyone. So make sure that you revise, revise, rewind, and refresh yourself and go for exam. Best of luck, everyone. Thank you and hope you have liked our classes. CMA Vikita, wishes from CMA Vikita. Bye bye. Take care, enjoy yourself, study well.